All right, hello everybody. I don't have any viewers right now, so don't know how my sound is going. Um, anyway, this is my third stream. This is Knitting Time with Alex. What am I calling it? I'm calling it Yarn Time. Yarn Time with Alex. Yeah, so it's Yarn Time with Alex, and this is a show where I just stream and I knit and I crochet and I talk about the yarns that I'm using and the yarns that I love, and then I just talk about whatever else happens to come up. So we're gonna get this stream started. And uh-oh. Just pick up those stitches and put them back on the needle. That's fine. Let's see. These are knits, so I need to probably go get myself a Band-Aid. And I'm going to a purl. It's way too hot in my room. Whoops. And let's not flash anybody. It's not that kind of show. That's for when I start my OnlyFans. I'm not gonna do that. Show what I believe in. Oh, hello to my 2 viewers. I just took off a sweater that I'm wearing, so I'm trying to put my pins back on my clothes so that I can rep the things that I believe. This is a pin my sister got me. And it says, abortion access is economic justice. I've got my Black Lives Matter pin. And I've got my neurodiversity, actually autistic pin. With the neurodiversity rainbow infinity loop. Alright. Let's get my music back on. And let's get back to knitting. Okay, so I've got a knit, knit, and purl, purl. This really is getting much easier the more I do it. But again, I am probably only going to finish like maybe 2, hopefully 2, maybe 3 rows, which is not that many, considering I think I cast on 34 stitches is what this pattern called for. And I'm doing something that yarn people will find interesting, which is the needles that I'm using here are actually a little bit too small. Or no, these are actually a little bit too big for what the pattern called for. So I cast on for only a small glove, and I usually wear about a medium. But I'm thinking, with how stretchy this is, that I made the right call in casting on for a small pair. And that also means I'm going to have scrap yarn, which is so much fun to have. So, yeah, if anybody wants to say hi, I do respond to people in the chat. I do look at that. But if you don't want to say hi, if you want to be shy, that's also cool. I try to make this as relaxing for you guys as knitting and making stuff is gratifying for me. Oh, hello, Mag Trissler. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining me. This is the show. And I'm brand new at streaming, so I don't know what I'm doing yet. So, you know, any technical difficulties that may come up? Aw, thank you. We need to chat. We need to do a phone call or something. Except for I hate talking on the phone. I only do that with like 2 or 3 people. Ever. And then no offense to you. It's not a, I don't want to talk to you on the phone. It's an, I don't want to talk to people on the phone thing. It is just like hanging out, except for it's way socially distanced. Anybody can be anywhere. Yeah. Oh, I figured you would probably feel the same about the phone. Yeah, it's just like hanging out, except for I get to do knitting and not be, you know, like, incorrigible, a pest. I get to sit here and do my little thing. And I'm getting so much faster. Because last night, I think I only did a whole row while I was streaming. I mean, I switched to crochet about halfway through, or a little more than halfway through. But no, this is going much faster. And it really is just something you gotta practice at. It's like hanging out and not having to wear pants. But that's what my OnlyFans is for. So I told my friend Clarcer, who was in the chat last night, that I'd start my OnlyFans when I hit 50 subscribers on Twitch. I was like, if people want to see me do the exact same thing, sans pants, whatever. I'm not embarrassed. But I gotta get paid. Yeah, that's right. Slam that follow button. I want everybody in this chat to smash that subscribe, ding that bell, stromp on those lights. I don't know what people say. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't do the videos. Yeah, I've got some knitting going on. Stromp. You gotta stromp on the stuff. It's fine. You don't have to question mark that.
No way. Taco Bell
Oh, and we get to listen to some Taco Bell ads. That's great. I don't think... I don't want aged cheese on a Taco Bell thing. You know, that doesn't sound nice. If I hear aged cheese at Taco Bell, I'm thinking, oh, okay, that sounds like if you need to give yourself a stomach bug for the day. You know, if you need to get out of a commitment. I'm so bad at purling when I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I do know what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, so that tells me... I don't think cheese has an age of consent. And if it does, I have been sorely misinformed about cheese my entire life. And I'm okay with that, actually. I was trying to say something. I was saying something, and then I got distracted by the age of cheese... over the age of cheese consent. Which is not a friendly sentence to say. Yeah, I totally know what I'm supposed to be doing with this pattern, which is, I'm getting back on topic here. What I've decided to do on the stream is only knit or crochet things that are easy patterns. And when I say an easy pattern, that means something I don't have to look at. If it's repetitive, if it's just a bunch of rows of the same thing over and over again, I can do that even with knitting, which is a skill that I am clearly not that great at. I have let cheese go. I'm mostly vegan. I eat cheese sometimes. Don't cancel me, folks. Yeah, these needles are not that great. I would really love a set of interchangeable steel tip needles. That would be nice. Because, yeah, it's really squeaky yarn. Or it's really squeaky needles. And I think it's the needles. I'm more likely to blame the tools than the yarn. Especially when... This is silk. This is high quality stuff here, folks. And it was only $10. And it came in a box with the whole skein of yarn. And I don't remember what month this came in this year. I think it just came this past month. And I think this past month it came with a shawl pin. Although, for this to be fingerless gloves, that is sounding incorrect. I would think they would put a shawl pattern in with a shawl pin. Which isn't exactly alliterative, but it's very fun to say. And there's a little baby Jasper in the room. Oh, I need to feed him. I feed him at 8 o'clock, and I decided that's the time that I'm going to start streaming. So I need to make sure to feed the baby before I start this stream. I'm going to finish this row, and then I'm going to put the BRB screen on and feed a little Jasper cat. And you will probably hear me talking to my cat from across the room. Because I asked him to meow for his dinner. I go, say it. You gotta say your little meows tonight. And most of the time he does. He's not a very talkative boy. But most of the time he'll say a meow for dinner. But when he doesn't, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna feed you. Don't worry. I don't let him go very long. Oh, my stitches are too tight. That's my problem. And I have been told by knitting pals that it's because my work slides too far down the needles, which, if you have watched before, I'm sure you have heard me complaining about. Also, if anybody else has music recommendations or requests, I am just listening to the Spotify playlist lo-fi hip-hop beats to chill slash, or no, study slash relax to. Yeah. I hear it's all the rage with the kids. Oh. Okay. That almost fell off my needles, which I'm so afraid of in knitting. I feel like everything's just gonna fall off my needles, and it's not fun. All right. Let's see. I think that's 7 rows now. Hold on. Let me count. Let me go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. I'll be starting row 8, which is a right side row. Yeah, so this is the side that faces out, which looks essentially the same as the side that is going to face in. There is not a huge difference, or at least there won't be until I start knitting the thumb hole. Because, yeah, in case you haven't heard, these are going to be fingerless gloves eventually. You know, once I finish knitting them. But if it takes me as long as my previous 2 knits have taken, it will take me 100 years. I will be old by the time I finish these pair of gloves. Yep, so I am gonna go feed my cat, and I will be right back. And I'm back. Yeah. I accidentally dropped goop from the wet cat food onto Jasper's face, and I think some of it may have gotten in his eye, and I feel bad about that. Poor little baby. He didn't cry though. He didn't whine. He blinked a lot. I think he was alarmed, but not hurt. Which I feel like I'm okay with that as a cat parent. I like this ambient rain track with the sound of coins clattering. Jasper does always look alarmed. He is a very wide-eyed boy. He always approaches everything with a look of wide-eyed wonder. I feel like he's probably not a very super smart cat. Which is mean. And I shouldn't say that about my own baby. But he's probably not a very smart cat. I know that some cats can apparently, like, recognize themselves in mirrors. Or at least they look like that on YouTube videos sometimes. And I'm like, I love cats. Of course he's so smart. He can recognize his own shadow. And then my partner tells me, like, that's not real. That's not a fact. Cats probably can't recognize themselves in mirrors. They don't have that kind of sapience. And I'm like, nah. I want to believe. I'm the Fox Mulder of cats. Mordecai is, I think, a very smart cat. I don't know him super well, but not smarter than you. Definitely smarter than Jasper. But Jasper is a hard worker. Jasper could get a high GPA. He doesn't have book smarts, but he's got them ambitions. Those little kitty cat ambitions make him work hard. Mordecai is smart, but lacks good judgment. I would agree with that assessment, because if I know anything about that cat, it's that he just runs out of the house. He's like, I'll come back.
And something I love about the Chick-fil-A nuggets is...
Oh, please tell me about Chick-fil-A nuggets. Please tell me about Chick-fil-A nuggets. It's comfort food. It's so good to eat, because I don't care about the humanity of gay people. Ha ha ha. And again, I'm not going to Home Depot on Black Friday. I'm not going anywhere on Black Friday. It has been a long time since I've done that. I did that when I was like a teenager. Actually, the first day I ever worked in my entire life was a Black Friday. It was the Black Friday of the year I turned 16. I turned 16 at the end of September. And so I got a job in mid-November. And the very first day I worked, it was Black Friday. It was at Bed Bath & Beyond, which does not have Black Friday sales. But still, I feel like it's a good story.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about music that's happening right now. This isn't a podcast about what you need to listen to tomorrow. This has to do with how you think about music when it's not even playing.
Okay, no, they're not talking about me anymore. I was going to say, this isn't a podcast about music. This is a... Is this a podcast? People do video podcasts. I've seen it on YouTube. But I also feel like a podcast is usually just an audio file. That's what I thought they were. And I know that words can change and like meanings of words can change. And I don't have a problem with that in theory. In practice, I get very confused. If I am like, let's start some projects, I'm not going to Home Depot for that. That's when I go to the yarn store. If anybody wants to get me a Christmas gift, some pins or stickers or like a shirt that says like yarn addict. I'm addicted to yarn. That would be appropriate. That'd be a good Christmas gift. I would wear that. I would wear those, whatever it is. I wouldn't wear a sticker, because you don't really wear stickers. I mean, you can stick stickers onto you. You can do whatever you want. Boat rope is like yarn. You can crochet with rope, and you can knit with rope. I don't want to, because they require like these gigantic hooks. I have one huge wooden hook that I will go grab in a little bit when I put this down for my break in the middle. Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about like what the structure of my show is going to be. So basically, for the first about 45 minutes or so, I am going to be working on a knitting project. I actually have two things cast on to needles that I'm knitting right now. I have both this as well as a scarf. Just a, I'm not doing garter stitch. I don't, stockinette stitch. Stockinette stitch is the one that looks like knit. So yeah, I'm doing a stockinette stitch scarf with this really beautiful yarn that my partner got me in New York, when they went to New York. They went to like Long Island, and they had a fancy yarn store, and I was like, go to that yarn store and get me something. And they did. And I'll show that off too. But yeah, so the first hour I am going, or the first, 45 minutes or so, I'm going to be knitting on, whatever projects I have going on at the time. And then I will switch gears a little bit in the middle and do, Maggie, I am going to get back to your comments. So, because I have other things to say about that. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit after I put down some knitting projects, and I am going to show you guys like just the things that I've been working on, like things that I've finished up either off stream or, off stream. And maybe show off some yarns if I've got like a nice fancy yarn that I love, that I'm either obsessed with at the moment or is new to me. And then I'm gonna take a break, go smoke a cigarette, drink some water, get my hydration on. And then I will come back, and for the last, 45 minutes or so of the stream, I will work on some crochet stuff. And I'm only going to be working on easy patterns on stream to where I can talk and like pay attention to the chat and not have to look at what I'm doing to do it. Or, you know, not at least not look at a pattern and have to be staring at it and reading it and going, so I chain 8 and I need to purl 6 and I need to, you know, that's not necessarily interesting talk for my viewership, my lovely viewership. And that's what I will do during my streams. I have it right now to where you can watch anything that I've put out within the past 2 weeks. My first episode, I do not recommend if you want to go back and see what I've done, because it was my very first time I've ever done any kind of streaming of anything. There were a lot of technical difficulties. I didn't know what I was doing. But then today, I sat down and I rewatched my first stream, and I rewatched the second stream that I did this morning, and I was like, okay, this works, this doesn't work, this is what I'm gonna do from now on, because I want to make it a nice little chill hangout zone for my friends, you know? Where I just get to do something that I enjoy, and I get to talk to people that I enjoy. And it's just a good way to kind of get some interaction in when interaction is not necessarily the most possible thing to do. Oh yeah, so I was going to get back to what Mags was saying in the chat, which is we could make some knitting needles from dowel rods, and I do not know what a dowel rod is, but I'm sure you could. You can make knitting needles from anything. In fact, yeah, and I can say this because nobody follows me yet for the knitting content, I don't think. And the yarn content, I don't think I have any major yarn workers on this stream that I'm going to offend by saying this. But yarn people would be so easy to scam. If I just was unethical, if I just had no ethics, I could start so many businesses selling things to other crafters and make so much money. Also, if I had, you know, a business sense and knowledge of numbers, math, accounting, all of that stuff. I would need more knowledge than I currently have to start this, in my opinion, unethical crochet business. But people do it. People do this on Etsy and on internet shops all over the place. They just sell stitch markers, which are little circular things that you can put on your knitting needles, or you can get types that open, and you could put those on your crochet work. And they would be so cheap to make. My partner has a 3D printer and has 3D printed me some little heart stitch markers, which I might even have in my pocket. So I'm going to check that when I am done with my rib stitch. But those cost pennies of material for one, like not even pennies of material. Very little material, I think, as far as I'm aware. And you could make so many of them, and you could sell a set of 5 or 10 to somebody for like $2 or $3 for what takes you pennies to make. And people would buy it. People would go crazy over a little heart stitch marker, and I'd be like, it's handmade. I can engrave your name in it if you want. people would go crazy for that. And I'm one of those people. So I know. So that's why I think that would be unethical. Is, you know, it would cost me pennies to make these things. I don't think it's right for me to be able to then go on Etsy and say, oh, we're having a sale. They're $20 for $10. Or whatever. You know? That's still making so much money off of not that much work at all. And not that much time. And not that much investment. But I guess that's what businesses are. This is why I don't like capitalism. Probably just because I feel like it's wrong. I feel like it's wrong. But that's just how it works. Wild. In case you weren't aware, we do ride the Down with Capitalism bus on this show. And yeah, you could make crochet hooks or knitting needles out of just wood. Out of just like found wood. You know, go down to Overton Park and pick up some branches and whittle those down into a crochet hook and be like, it's handmade from found wood. It freaking $20. Varnish it with the cheapest stuff that you can find for woodworking. Sell that for $20. And all you've spent is the materials that you use to make the hooks out of your found wood. And found wood is a thing. I learned that from a television show. That's how I learned most of my things. Everybody would call it artisan. Artisanal. I would be like, these crochet hooks are handcrafted by a non-binary disabled person who's just trying to survive in this world that's so cruel. And it's like, all that's true. What's this commercial about? I'm guessing it's about nachos. I did reverse the joke.
At the Home Depot, get Black Friday pricing now through December on great gift ideas for any doer on your list.
Again, never going to Home Depot on Black Friday.
Save on top tools.
It's just not gonna happen.
The latest in smart home tech, even holiday decor to light up the living room or bring joy to the neighborhood.
I think something I might do with this project is switch the cord, because these are interchangeable needles. I could switch the cord to a longer one. I think that might be more comfortable for me. But if anything, I'll do that when I get to the end of this row. And then I'm gonna do some other stuff. You will also get to hear my singing voice during the streams. Yeah, Merry Christmas, kids. Here is a bunch of wood and like some rods. Have a hammer. And just go nuts. Have fun. Break all your little fingers. Going to Home Depot for Black Friday. I feel like Christmas is for kids. And that doesn't mean I don't think adults can celebrate it. I think adults can and should. And adults can do whatever they want because they're adults. But I'm not like knocking on anybody who celebrates Christmas. I just don't personally really care for it that much. And I think it's much more about like the children in your life and making sure they have good Christmases. Because I remember being a kid and loving Christmas. Or, you know, loving the getting presents. Like, all that stuff. Going to people's houses, didn't care for that. Nobody ever thought I was autistic. It's funny. Yeah, no more chats. That's fine. But yeah, this year I only have one child in my life, and that is the daughter of my best friend. And she is 6 years old. And I got for her this thing called a Kiwi crate. And it's KiwiCo is the company. And they send every month, and I got a 3-month subscription for her, an age-appropriate little, like, box. And your kid gets to do an art or a STEM activity. And I picked the one that was the art crate for her because she's really into drawing. And I really hope she likes it. Her first box is going to come a little bit before Christmas. And, you know, obviously I've told my friend that, hey, expect this. I'll wrap it. You know, you can give it to her on Christmas so that she can have another gift to unwrap, because that's what Christmas is for. It's for kids and making them happy. Oh, these stitches keep sliding off of my needles, and that's okay though, because I haven't dropped any yet. And I say that, and of course I do it. Oh, surgery. Surgery went well. I know that wasn't very dramatic on camera, but that was the most drama I have had all day, is my stitches falling off my needle just now. Didn't have a very drama-filled day, which is good. I don't like drama in my personal life. Yeah, see, I have residual affection for Christmas, too. Like, because I remember being a kid, and I do really like the lights and all the decorations, and I'm even gonna crochet some Christmas ornaments this year to go on our tree. And we have some lights. They don't work, I don't think. And if they don't, I'm gonna go down to the store and I'm gonna get some Christmas lights. Because any excuse to go to Michael's, I will take. Just to go smell the yarn. Just to go look at it. Stick my hands in. Feel the yarn. You know? And again, this yarn does smell really good. It smells like incense. It smells like Nag Champa. And, you know, squeeze it. I get to squeeze the balls. And I get to say things like that because I'm just talking about yarn. I'm not being dirty. Although I could. I'm an adult. This is a stream for adults. I put the mature rating on because I am a mature adult. I'm a mature adult. That's the story I'm sticking to anyway. Yeah, so let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows completed, and I started out after row 5, so I started on 6. So I did 6, 7, 8. Did 8 today. Or wait, did I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I either have 9 or 10. I don't know. I need to check the gauge with a fabric tape measurer, which I don't have on me. I'm not going to go grab it because that's not entertaining for the stream. Yeah, so this is my most recently, wait, no, this is not my most recently completed crochet project. I love that. This is my second most recently completed crochet project. I did not necessarily love my color choices at first when I was starting it, but then I attached this and I was like, oh, wait, no. I attached this and I was like, okay, that brings it together. Oh no, Mags. That sounds horrifying. What do we look like? What do we look like combined? I'm not gonna show anybody. That would be for me only. Yeah, this is a blanket. I know that it does not look like a good blanket. It's like a baby blanket. But that's what I wanted for myself. I was like, I'm gonna make myself a security blanket because I can do what I want. I'm an adult. And if I want a security blanket, I'm gonna gosh darn have one. And I'm really proud of it. This is the first project that I blocked. And blocking is where you finish off a knit or crocheted object by I did wet blocking for this because it is mostly animal fiber, like mostly wool, or I think there's some alpaca in one of these. I'd have to check the yarn labels. So I did wet blocking, which is where I just took a bucket and I filled it up with warm water, not hot, but warm water, and a little bit of Castile soap, and washed it and then rinsed it in cool water and then pinned it up to, I have these blocking boards that look kind of like, let me, this is a blocking board. It looks like those kid room tiles, you know, like kids that have the puzzle floor, like at your elementary school or in your church, if you went to church. I don't know. I didn't go to church as a little kid, so I don't know what that's like. But your little youth groups, everybody's youth groups that y'all had, they had floors like this because they're safe for children, because they're all, you know, and you pin your work to them, and that's how you stretch it, and it opens up the stitches and it makes it look really nice. In fact, I know I sent some pictures to Mags and a few other people that were like, before blocking, after blocking. You don't know what I'm talking about? The floor material. It's the material that they put on floors in like kids' rooms in preschools. In like preschools and like little kindergartens. And like for little babies. Maybe you're too old. Oh my God. You can't say JK to me. You can't do jokes. You can't do jokes. I can't read jokes on the internet. What do you think I am? Some kind of neurotypical? But yeah, this is the first time I've blocked anything. with this, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It opened up these stitches, and I just think it looks so pretty. And I know that the colors are a little much, but I lean into that. You know, that's what I like. And then the other most recent thing I've crocheted is this headband. This is another yarn that came from the Darn Good Yarn subscription box, and it is also a recycled silk. And they call this color Dusty Rose, and it's a really light, soft pink, which is terrible for me, actually, because I am very pink. In case you can't tell, in case you don't see me here on the screen, I'm very pink in the face. Oh, yeah, more ads. I don't like this one. I don't want nachos. But yeah, I love this headband. I think it's really cute. I am never going to wear it because the color, I think, clashes with my skin tone and makes me look... But this is really cute, and I am going to give this to my friend Lane, or potentially they'll give it to their daughter. And yeah, that's what I've crocheted most recently. These are my most recent finished objects. So I am going to take a little bit of a break. I will be back roughly at the top of the hour, and I'm going to start crocheting for the night. I've done my knitting. Oh, I also, yeah, before I leave and come back. I'm coming back. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just stay and listen to my chill music. I'm doing this skull shawl also for Lane, hopefully for Christmas. And I've got 3 of the skulls, and it's going to be like, it's going to go one skull here, skulls here, one skulls here, skulls here. This hour has breezed by. I see. That's because I'm so cool and such a chill and relaxed person. I am when I'm knitting and crocheting. Yarn is my happy place. I would also take a t-shirt or a pin or a button or a sticker that said that. Yarn is my happy place. Or again, if I started the crochet business and just sold to other people who are like me and will pay ridiculous amounts of money for just stupid stuff that shouldn't cost as much money as people will pay for it. I could sell stickers that say yarn is my happy place and just draw a little crappy yarn ball, sell that, but $3 a sticker. It'll be a large sticker. It'll still cost me like 20 cents to print, and I'll sell it for $3. People would buy that. Okay, so I am going to take a break, and I will be back in about 5, maybe 10 minutes. We'll get to crocheting, and then I'll finish up my stream. Basically the plan is to do about 2 hours every night. Maybe more, maybe less, you know, depending on how I'm feeling. This isn't, you know, I don't have a routine or a structure. I'm not beholden to any sponsors or any of that stuff, and I'm not going to be. So, taking a break. I'll be right back.
home for the holidays means more this year, and at Lowe's, you'll find the perfect Christmas tree to make your home merry. Get a live, fresh-cut tree or a GE pre-lit artificial Christmas tree with 500 color-changing lights. Now only $169, was $198. Don't forget the lights, ornaments, and decor. Download the Lowe's app, buy online, and pick up curbside, because a gift for home brings joy to all. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Fresh-cut Christmas tree service in store only. Valid through 11/25. U.S. only.
With tons of delicious nachos loaded with your favorite toppings, Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack always brings the fun. Game day is now. Game day with nachos! Turn that monthly book club into a monthly book club with nachos! Or watching reality shows with your roommates could be reality shows with roommates with nachos! So gather your crew and enjoy Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack at participating U.S. locations for a limited time.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You can save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Alright, folks. Yeah, I've got my yarn that I'm working with right now for this crochet project that I'm going to be doing on stream. I am basically using up all of my cotton yarn. Well, not all of it. Not all of it. I am using up a lot of my cotton yarn this year and doing some washcloths for Christmas. And I've already finished one today. I just cast on, or you don't call it casting on in crochet. Here's some yarn knowledge for you. You call it casting on in knitting, and that's when you make your stitches for knitting, but making the stitches for crochet is referred to as chaining. But yeah, I've got this one finished. I need to weave in the ends, but that is not stream work. That is tedious work that I hate to do, and will be done at a later date when I finish all of these. Uh-oh, I did something wrong. Nope, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, so this yarn is a scrubby cotton that I don't remember where I got. I think I may have gotten it at Michael's or Joann's, because I don't think I got it at one of the fancy yarn stores. I'm hot. My face feels super flushed, and I'm sorry if I'm red on the stream, but that's how I look in real life. So, sorry about my face. Yeah, this is a scrubby cotton yarn. You can see it's really textured, and it is not that easy to work with. And I've worked with it in both crochet and knit, so I know it's just not easy to work with as yarn. It's not a problem of the tools. And so what I like to do is I like to pair it with a strand of just a plain cotton yarn. And I really love this rainbow yarn from Hobby. They are a company that is in Copenhagen, which is right next door to where my best friend across the ocean lives. And they used to even work in the town where this yarn shop is based. And they have their own brands of yarn, and they make really good quality, especially in their cotton. I love their cotton yarns. I have bought a bunch of this rainbow variegated yarn, which a variegated yarn is when you see these color stripes. This might even be a self-striping. Self-striping is what you call yarn that, when it is worked up, creates a striped pattern all on its own, and you don't have to calculate anything. Because you can, if you are smarter about yarn than I am. You can do that. I don't. Not yet. I hope I level up one day. But yeah, I like to pair it with a thicker cotton yarn and just use a bigger hook. I am using what we in the United States refer to as an M as in Mary, or a 13. It is a 9mm hook. Yeah, it's never going to focus when I want it to. It's never going to do what I want it to do. You can't see that. That's fine. I'm telling you what it is. It's a 9mm hook, which is a little bit bigger than I would like to go with this. I would like to go at about a 7 or an 8mm, but I don't have any metal hooks that are that size. I have a couple of plastic ones, but plastic is not a very good material for a crochet hook. I haven't found any kind of yarn that I like working with that does work well on a plastic hook. They're just kind of nasty and squeaky, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay, 13, 14, 15, 16, and turn. No, I think I'm just gonna do 15. stitches across, because that's what I did for this one, and I want them to be fairly uniform. Yeah, I like this. It's just like a basic washcloth with the scrubby yarn, so it feels good, like if you use it in the bath. I like it anyway. And they are super easy to make because all they are is chain for your width and then just turn and do single crochets into every chain. And just keep doing that until you've got the length you want and you've got a dishcloth. It's the easiest project. I think anyone can make it. And it's just... Huh, that was weird. Thank you. I think these colors work super well together. Yeah, this is just we've got some blues and some gray and some light green, like almost a teal. It's like a real bluey green. And then this one just has a lot of blue and white. It's got that lighter blue, it's got a darker blue, and then the rest of it is white. So when these are worked up, I think the color combination works really well. And they end up just looking nice. Just looking nice. And they're so simple to make. This is somewhat of a yarn education channel as well. And if anybody is interested in getting a basic tutorial on how to crochet a washcloth, this is a perfect starter project for anybody learning. This is what I started practicing on when I picked crochet up again about a year ago. But I have been crocheting technically since I was like 5 or 6. Because my grandmother would crochet and she tried to teach me. She taught me how to make a chain, and I think that's all I learned because I just wasn't interested in it at the time. I was like, my grandma does it. It's for old ladies. I'm not old. And I look back at that little kid that I was and I go, oh, you sweet summer child. You're going to lean so hard into the whole Grammy thing. But they didn't know. I was just a little kid. And then I learned how to crochet again on my own when I was like maybe 15, maybe 17. I don't know how time works. Don't expect me to give you an exact age. I don't know. I don't know it. And I made like a scarf, I think. And I don't know what happened to it. I don't remember making any other projects back then. And then I dropped it. And then just last year, my mental health wasn't in such a great place. And I was like, I need to have a hobby. And yarn is really pretty. And I think it would be fun to work with. Because I know some people who are yarn workers. And they're cool people. So I was like, I should be a cool person. I'm going to learn how to crochet. And I'm going to learn how to knit, is what I told myself at the time a year ago. And so I bought myself all these supplies. I bought a basic set of bamboo knitting needles and a basic set of aluminum crochet hooks. And I just went on Amazon and I was like, yarn for crochet. Because I didn't know anything back then. And I was like, I'm just learning. It's fine. I'll just get whatever's the cheap stuff on Amazon.
prices on decorations.
So I did,
Like artificial
and
Christmas
it
trees
is
right delivered.
really cheap
Outside lights,
acrylic yarn
inflatables
that feels like
feel
plastic
neighborhood.
and
Order online, and you'll even get free
works like
All
plastic.
together, improved.
So it's
Provide
not
saving
really
on
good for
holiday decor
anything
on
except for like
How do it?
making little stuffed animals,
Standard shipping on
which
online
are
and
called
on
amigurumi,
exclusive supply while supplies last.
which is the Japanese word for a knitted or crocheted stuffed toy. That's another fun fact for you. You're learning so much. Everybody is just learning so much with me right now. Yeah, so that cheap yarn is not very good for much except for like making toys. And that's just not something that I do a whole lot. I've made a couple of amigurumi. I've made a jellyfish, actually out of this yarn. Another scheme that I have of it, or had, it's used up now. It made a jellyfish. And I have a pattern that I need to revisit because I have the yarn for it and everything. And that is a pattern for a cheetah, which is my partner's favorite animal. And so that's something that I've been like, I need to learn how to make for about a year. And I haven't. So after I finished other Christmas gifts, I'll get started on that. And hopefully have it done before Christmas. But if I don't, it won't be that big a video. You know. I live with them. They see me every day. It would be a cool surprise just any day of the week. Not just on Christmas. And then I bought and I actually have the box really close by. So let me get to the end of the row and I'll grab it. It is a crochet kit that you can, if you go to any craft store, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, but don't go to Hobby Lobby. And if anybody needs me to educate you on why you shouldn't go to Hobby Lobby, I would be glad to do so. But I feel like people here already know. Don't go to Hobby Lobby. But you can buy crochet kits in craft stores that come with the yarn and the patterns for lots of different types of amigurumi. There are, I've seen kits where you can make cats, kits where you can make horses. There's like Disney ones that they put out. There's a Harry Potter one, and fuck J.K. Rowling. But the one that I bought that I saw at Michael's was a My Little Pony crochet kit. And I'm not a brony. I have watched the My Little Pony show. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But I'm not weird about it. I've seen it. It's a cute show. It's not my favorite. It's nowhere near a Steven Universe or an Adventure Time or, you know, a bunch of other animated shows I could name. But again, my friend's daughter super loves My Little Pony. Or did at the time, before she turned 6 and got grown up. But she still likes the characters. And so I'm going to make her a little Rainbow Dash doll. It came with the yarn to make Rainbow Dash and to make Twilight Sparkle. Is that her name? The lead pony. If anybody in here is a brony, reveal yourself. You're among friends. Yeah. Oh, I said I would grab it to show people what I'm talking about. Yeah, hold on. This is a crochet kit. It comes with all the yarn that you need to make these two ponies. and it didn't come with a hook or anything. You have to have that already. But it came with a book with all the patterns in it. And so crochet kits are a fun way to get into crochet if it's something that you want to pick up as a hobby. Because, like I said, you can find it at any hobby store. They'll have a crochet kit. And Hobby, the place where I got this beautiful yarn, and I love them. They have such fast shipping, and they have such good quality yarn for really inexpensive. And they always give you, like, a treat. I always get a little piece of candy and, like, something extra in my order, and I like that. I'm a basic bitch. You can just send me extras, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I love you guys. You're so cool. Yeah, so crochet kits are a really good way to get into the hobby because they have pretty much everything you need. All you need is someone to teach you how to read patterns, or you have to have a good resource to learn the stitches on your own, or somebody to teach you, which I'm more than willing to do for anybody. And a hook. And you can get a cheap hook at those craft stores for like $1, for $2. You can get really cheap hooks. And they're aluminum, which is actually one of my favorite materials for a hook. I like the metal ones. It tends to slide over the yarn and make working on it really easy. But yeah. I feel like I said all I needed to say on that subject. I think I might only have enough left to finish up this one washcloth, which is actually pretty good. I am trying to use up some of my stash. I'm going to keep talking anyway. I'm trying to use up my stash because I have a lot of yarn that was basically impulse bought because I was like, this is pretty, I'll use it on something. And now that I know more about my hobbies, I'm like, what am I going to use this for? What am I going to use this cheap acrylic for? Really? I'm not. So I'm trying to use up as much of my stash as I can and make things to give out, to donate to different places. Just to post pictures of online. Maybe get myself a little following of people who like to crochet and knit, like me. Yeah. Alright, so I said I really like working with these metal hooks. And I do. I don't think this is a hook problem. I think this is a yarn problem. I think this is I just shouldn't work with novelty yarns. I don't like them. It's kind of hard to make these single crochets. And there's a lot, it's a very gappy material because the hook is so big. But then it's also hard to get through the stitches because this scrub cotton just expands. It takes up a lot of space. So it makes it hard to get into the stitches and actually work them. This is a technique that I learned from just online, watching YouTube videos and hanging out in Facebook groups and hanging out on Ravelry. I love Steven Universe so much. I love Steven Universe more than anything. Pretty much. And somebody on one of my Facebook groups, I think they were in at least one of the crochet groups that I'm in, and definitely in at least one of the Steven Universe groups that I'm in, has been making Steven Universe amigurumi. And I'm like, dude, if you sold your patterns, I would buy those. I would buy the pattern for that, just so I could make some Steven Universe amigurumi. Because he's made a spinel, and she's huge. She's like the size of a torso. That's the sound of a hook dropping. It will become a very familiar noise if you keep watching. Nobody has to. I'm just doing this for fun. You're not going to hurt my feelings.
Santa's coming early.
Oh, is Santa coming early? To my kitchen? That's weird. I want to make some Steven Universe amigurumi.
Trusted names, all the latest features, plus free delivery and flexible returns.
And yeah, amigurumi are super cute. I just don't make them that often. Because they tend to be a little bit more complicated. Not really. They are simple stitches. They are easy stitches. They are the first things that you learn when you're learning to crochet. But working in the round in crochet can be difficult for a beginner. I had to watch a lot of videos on how to do it and practice a lot and make a lot of mistakes until I finally one day it clicked and I was finally able to work in the round in crochet, and now I can make hats. Now I can make I'm gonna start making, with some more cotton yarns that I have, little like face puffs, like little cotton. Santa's coming early to the Home Depot. We sell coal now. I like that. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about the ads. I will talk to my chat moderator, who is my partner, who shall be known as Radical, and get me set up on the Spotify partner account that they have that is supposed to be for me, that I just haven't had set up yet. And then we won't hear ads. We'll just hear the chill, lo-fi, hip-hop beats to study/relax to. Which is my kind of beats. If I have a kind of beat that I like, it's not the vegetable. It's the lo-fi hip-hop beats to study/relax to. /knit/crochet to. Knit to, like knit TOO, would be a good name for a yarn store. Because patterns that call for ribbing, you say it like knit to, purl to. That's how you do a 2x2 rib stitch. So knit to, knit TOO would be a good name for a yarn store. If I ever get $1 million of my own dollars and can buy a yarn store and live in it, that's what I'm gonna call it. So nobody steal my business idea. The beats from Doug did rule. Oh wee oo, killer tofu. Oh wee oo, killer tofu. Except for I did that totally wrong. I'm not gonna correct it, but it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna correct it. I shouldn't. I don't think I'm here on this stream to sing. But that's another thing that I love. if you people know me, and some of you people know me, at very least, I have 4 whole viewers right now. Banging on a Trash Can music video was a jam, and you're making me really want to watch Doug. I think it's on Hulu. I think that's what my friend told me. There's got to be a way to watch it online. I would download a car, and I would also download episodes of Doug. Don't do anything illegal, children. I don't have any sponsors or anything riding on this. I don't think the government's watching me knit and crochet. But still don't want to, like, encourage illegal things. I would download a car, and I would download episodes of Doug. You know that, the, like, image on the internet? That internet image? That came from movies a long time ago when we went to movies in theaters. And they were like, you wouldn't download a car, would you? And pretty much everybody I knew is like, yeah, I would if I could. That's just not a possible thing to do. You can't download a car and 3D print it. The technology just isn't there. But I would if I could. And so would pretty much everybody in America, I'm guessing. You don't remember... Are you being sarcastic again? Because if you're doing that, I don't like that. Sorry, I have my camera in the way of the chat pane. I can probably fix that, actually. I have never watched an episode of Gilmore Girls. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, Mag. Mag Trisla. Yeah, when we went to the movies in, like, the mid-thousands, there was an ad that came on before the movie, and it was all about anti-piracy. And they were like, you wouldn't download a car, would you? And I just think that's a very misguided ad campaign. Very memorable because of that. Like the Stars Hollow Village Idiot guy. Not that that clarifies anything for you. It does not. Ooh, uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, see how much faster crochet is than knit? I am done with almost an entire washcloth. I will do probably maybe 2-3 more rows. And then that's an entire object that I finished in, what, like 30 minutes of streaming? And I'm very distractible. Doug is no longer on Hulu. Don't tell me that. I mean, I guess thank you for disappointing me now instead of when I get off the stream and go to Hulu and go, Doug's not on Hulu. No. So, in a way, thank you for disappointing me now. But you disappointed me. And I am taking that out personally on you, Max. I'm not. Well, there's other ways to find Doug on the internet. You just go to the Mr. Google there, and all you have to search is like Stream Doug free 2020. You don't search that. That's what all of the website titles are like. Oh wait, didn't they do a Doug reboot? And it wasn't good, or like it looked weird, or is this a fever dream of mine? Somebody tell me I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. You wouldn't download a Doug? I would download a Doug. That's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't download a car. I think that's the cognitive leap that I made. Being made explicit. Yeah, they rebooted Doug, and it was just weird. Like, it didn't look the same, which usually I'm okay with. I'm like, it's not going to look the same. It's been years. It's been too many years for me to say correctly the number of years that it's been, because I don't want to think about how old I am. Yeah, and I saw like clips from it, and I was like, this is weird. It's off. Don't like it. You know what got rebooted? Kind of. Well, this wasn't exactly a reboot. It was just a special. But Invader Zim, I was fucking obsessed with Invader Zim when it came out. Oh my god. I wanted to be Dib. I wanted to wear a trench coat and study the paranormal. I didn't believe in the paranormal. I didn't believe in it. But I was like, I'm going to become a paranormal investigator because that's my favorite character on my favorite TV show. And it's the Invader Zim. They did a movie, and it was actually by Jonan Vasquez, which if it hadn't been, then it would have been garbage. And I liked it. Some people were like, I don't like that they changed the art. And I'm like, get over it. You know what? Art is gonna change. It's been years. And artists mature. And they try new things. So I'm not mad with art for changing. Like, an art direction changing. And I think Invader Zim, it was not a huge deal because it got the feel of the original show. And that was the important part, was that it felt good. Huh, hold on. Like the Powerpuff Girls reboot, where they tried to make it actually for young girls instead of stone college kids, and they fired their legendary voice actors. I loved the original Powerpuff Girls. And I was that kid. I was the baby. When I was a small child, after Powerpuff Girls was off the air, or like after it had originally been introduced, I actually signed up for like some spam mail. Back when you could sign up for spam physical mail on the internet, and I used the name Sarah Bellum. I thought that was so clever. And I think my dad thought that I thought that up. I'm not that clever. I was like 7, 8. I don't know how old I was. Time is an illusion. I was young. I was a baby. And I knew what a cerebellum is, but I didn't think it up. So, sorry to disappoint my parents once again. Yeah, see, look, 2 washcloths done. And they all look a little bit different, which is something that I like about this, like the variegated yarn, is that you're not going to get 2 of the exact same things, even if it's the exact same pattern.
With tons of delicious nachos loaded with your favorite toppings, Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack always brings the fun. Game day is now.
Oh, that Taco Bell party pack. Always bring in the nachos. If I want nachos, I'm not going to Taco Bell for them. Taco Bell is for when you are stoned or drunk and you can't get any other foods. You go to Taco Bell and you're like, oh, I could get anything I want. It's so cheap.
It's a time to get tools from top brands.
Bring the nachos, bring the jams.
Right now for just $99.
Bring the...
Get a Cobalt 24-volt max cordless drill kit down from $149,
Oh.
or a Craftsman
Listen to that. You can get a drill kit.
$49, and now it's just $159.
I mean, I've used drills for stuff.
Deals, gifts, and decor at Lowe's.com during Lowe's
But
season of savings.
again, I am not going to Home Depot or Lowe's
Cobalt offer valid through 11/25. Craftsman offer valid through
for my Christmas shopping. I'm not buying anybody a drill thing, a drill bit case, whatever you call it. Clearly, I don't know. I mean, I would if somebody was like, this is what I want you to get me. I would be like, okay. And I would do it. But I would be judging them. I have used drills for stuff. I've used drills to drill holes in, like plastic before. In fact, I saw very recently that you can buy like a little hamster ball and drill a hole in that and use it as a yarn ball holder. I saw that on a YouTube video as like a crochet life hack. Which I have a couple of those. And if I start a YouTube channel to go along with this, which I'm trying to get figured out how to, thank you. And I won't say one of them again. Because you're making me feel like I need to defend myself. Defend my honor. I've drilled stuff. Alright. What am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Beautiful! They are cute quotes from my friend. I mean, I just don't have any more to say on the topic. I was saying that I would like to figure out how to do live streams on YouTube as well. And then maybe do like other little videos. Like maybe on TikTok and put them on YouTube too. And they would just be like a minute or two and they'd be like, crochet life hacks from Alex. And they would all be stuff like, guess what? You don't have to hold the tension of the yarn in your hand if you're just lazy and wrap your yarn around something else. Like my official first hack of last night. Or they'd be things like, for a really cheap project bag, don't even use a frickin' bag. Go to the dollar store and buy these index card case. Classio por fiches. Whatever. And put your crochet in here. Just open it up. It's the perfect size to fit some lightweight yarn. And a project. If you're... I know you love the quotes, and so I'm not going to say don't make fun of me. But that's how it makes me feel. It's taking a lot of restraint. Fiche. Fici. Che. K. I'm an American. Speak English. Fish. Okay. I get that. Thank you for giving me linguistics lessons. Like a fish. Makes me think of amethyst. Do you even speak French? You know, maybe I shouldn't be taking these lessons from you. What are your... You know, give me your resume real quick. I'm an American. I only speak English. But I was a vocal performance major when I entered college in the way back year of 2008. And so I've sung opera and art song in plenty of languages. I've sung in German, I've sung in Spanish, I've sung in French, I've sung in Italian, of course, I've sung in English. I've sung in Hebrew. I have sung in Dutch, which is impossible. Never. If you are ever a, traveling choir director, if if those end up being career paths in the future, don't try to make a bunch of high schoolers sing in Dutch. A bunch of American high schoolers singing in Dutch. It is very difficult. They have so many vowels. They're all wild. There's all sorts of markings over them. And I'm an American. I don't understand what those markings are. All right. We're getting like 8 minutes till 10. And I think that's time when I start wrapping up the show. This is my 3rd time streaming. This is my 2nd, episode. I probably am talking about the Swedes right now. My best friend that doesn't live in the United States is Swedish. And last night on the stream had me reading a crochet pattern that was written in Swedish. They were like, read it for me. And I was like, I'm not going to embarrass myself. And then I ended up doing it because if somebody that I love tells me to do a thing, I'm just going to do it. Consequences be damned. That's not always true. Don't try to get me to do weird, crazy stuff. Yeah, Swedish has all sorts of wacky vowels. My Swedish friend says that in their dialect, they have triphthongs. Not just diphthongs, but triphthongs. And I was like, we have those in Memphis accents too. Except for ours are like, dang. You know, when you get a good southern drawl going on. You get a little bit of a triphthong. If you got a real Memphis accent, like I do. I have such a Memphis accent, which is really funny because a lot of people here will, tell me. They'll be like, where are you from? You don't really have an accent. And I'm like, psh, have you heard me talk? And then they're like, no, not really. Because this is usually people that I just meet out and about, like in jobs and at stores and stuff. So that's when I've got my I must pretend to be a human being voice on. And it's a little bit less accented than my natural speaking voice. But you guys are getting treated to au naturel. Aw. All the Indianapolis people think you've been ruined. You've been infected by our southernisms. Yeah, so hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. I'm gonna do one more row, but after that, I think I'm gonna call it a night, at least for the stream. I'm gonna work some more on my Skull Shaw project. A Toronto accent. Now that's interesting. I should go look up videos of Toronto accents and see what they're talking about. Because you don't have a Memphis accent. You have a Memphis accented Indiana accent. Very similar things, if you don't know what you're listening for. Yeah, that's what that says. I don't know how to identify your regional signifiers, so I'm gonna guess that you're Canadian. Sure, why not? When I was in, like, middle and high school, I have had strangers assume that I was British somehow. I have no idea where that came from. I guess I talked in a more clipped... Why? What is it? We don't have British accents at all. And I think it's a diction thing. Because I try to have decent diction. And articulation. And I think something about that just comes across to some people as, you must be British. You say either, not either. Yeah, I say either. Either one. But I'll say neither. But I won't say either. Either one. That just sounds weird. I don't like it. Alright, well, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Also, if people don't want me to call them guys, I should just go ahead and think of a different boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and friends beyond the binary. I will start introducing it like I'm the Sleep With Me podcast. And I will start signing off with, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary. It is time for me to stop streaming tonight. I have finished up my row. I have gotten about a third, like about a third of the way through a third washcloth I finished one and got a third of the way through a second one in less than an hour. And I've been crocheting for about a year, so I'm relatively fast, but I'm not the fastest person in the world. So again, it is a beautiful, easy project, and it's really fun, and cotton yarn is super cheap, and it's the best for washcloths. And you can buy cotton yarn, you can buy a whole skein of cotton yarn for like $1.50 at Michael's and make 2 or 3 washcloths, maybe even like 3.5 out of just one skein of that yarn. And they're really nice, and they make for decent gifts on like gift giving occasions. But yeah, I will be signing off now, and thanks so much for watching. Alright, yeah, seriously, thank you for watching, and thank you for hanging out with me during this time. Oh, I see that I've got a 3rd viewer right now. Sorry, you've just hit the end of the stream. I am signing off for the night, but I will be back tomorrow night. I'm going to do this the same time, same place, maybe even on YouTube if I can get that figured out. So please tune back in to Yarn Talk with Alex.